You ever hear those HOA stories so ridiculous they sound like a bad sitcom? Well, buckle up, because this one's on a whole different level. Imagine being sued for having a pond. That doesn't exist. Yeah, that happened to me. Let me back up a sec and tell you how I ended up in the middle of the most absurd neighborhood drama you could imagine. Last Tuesday morning, I got this official-looking envelope from a law firm called Whitfield and Associates. My stomach dropped immediately. If you live in a neighborhood with a HOA, you know that name means trouble. Inside was a legal notice claiming I had violated some HOA rule about an unregistered water pond on my property. Except, here's the kicker, I don't have a pond. I don't even have a fountain or a bird bath. Nothing remotely aquatic in my backyard. The letter was serious as hell. It cited specific measurements, alleged environmental impacts, and demanded I drain this phantom pond or face hefty fines. I was staring at that paper like it was some kind of prank. How do you get sued for something that literally doesn't exist? So naturally, I went outside and looked around. It was a crisp January morning, and my yard was exactly as I always knew it. A patch of dead grass, a couple of oak trees my grandfather planted decades ago, and some stubborn dandelions still hanging on despite my terrible gardening. No pond. Not at here's where it gets wild. Attached to the letter was a satellite photo from the summer, with a big, suspiciously blue-green circle highlighted right where my backyard is. According to this evidence, this was my illegal pond, cleverly hidden from the street but visible from the sky. Except that blue-green blob? It wasn't water. It was the shadow cast by my grandfather's massive oak tree during full summer foliage. The tree's been here for over 200 years, its canopy so dense it casts a shadow large enough to fool a satellite camera. And get this, the photo was taken in July, in the middle of summer, when the leaves were thick. But now, it was January. The tree was bare, its branches skeletal against the winter sky, casting hardly any shadow at all. Karen, that's our HOA president, had built her entire legal case on a seasonal shadow from an ancient tree. You can't make this stuff up. So I decided to show up at the emergency HOA meeting Karen called that evening. I wasn't worried about the legal stuff. I just wanted to see how she'd explain herself when confronted. When I got there, the community center was packed. Word had spread fast, and people were curious if this was going to be a soap opera or just a boring HOA drama. Karen came in like she was running the place. Sharp suit, leather briefcase, the works. Behind her were the other board members, visibly uncomfortable, probably knowing this was going south fast. Karen fired up her presentation, displaying that same satellite image on the big screen and describing in terrifying detail the dangers of my hidden pond. Environmental disaster, property value drop, all that jazz. But as she spoke, I noticed her hands shaking just a little and the way her eyes darted around, like she was hoping someone would bail her out. Then I stood up, calm as I could, and said, "Madam President, I think there's been a mistake. That image is from July, when my oak tree was full of leaves. That blue-green area isn't a pond. It's just the tree's shadow. And right now, it's January. The tree is bare. There's no pond, no water feature." Her face went red instantly. "You're lying," she snapped, losing her cool. "You're hiding something, and I won't let you deceive this community." And that's when the room shifted. Some neighbors looked confused, others started whispering, and the tension got thick. Then Mrs. Patterson, my elderly next-door neighbor, leaned over and whispered, "Has she checked the old property records? Your land has a history she might not know about." Before I could ask more, Karen lost it and called 911. Right there, saying I was mentally threatening the community just because I laughed at her ridiculous claim. When the cops showed up, you could tell they were rolling their eyes. Officer Rodriguez, who has a background in civil engineering, examined the satellite photo and then my yard. He confirmed what I'd said. No pond, just a shadow, no violations. Then the real twist came. Karen's aggressive pursuit of me wasn't about a pond at all. I dug into her background, and with the help of Dave Murphy, one of the HOA board members who secretly reached out, I uncovered emails showing Karen had planned this attack months before with one goal: to force me to sell my property cheap. Why? Because her husband, Robert Whitfield runs a real estate investment company buying up neighborhood homes after Karen's legal bullying forces families out. It was a scheme, systematic, cold, and ruthless. Karen weaponized the HOA rules to harass vulnerable families, pushing them to sell their homes below market value to their corporate buyers. The media caught wind of this, and soon, I woke up to news vans outside my house, with headlines painting me as an environmental criminal hiding illegal construction. The neighborhood turned cold, friends avoided me, kids were pulled away from my yard, and someone even threw a rock through my window with a hateful note. But I had something Karen didn't expect: the truth, technology, and the power of social media. I went live, showing my backyard in real time, explaining the satellite image, sharing geological surveys proving pond construction was impossible on my granite bedrock, and even revealing internal emails from the HOA exposing the harassment campaign. That MY video went viral overnight. Comments poured in from people who'd faced HOA bullying, creating a community of support. Even Officer Rodriguez left a public comment backing my story. Then came Karen's final desperate move: an emergency HOA meeting where she brought in drilling specialists to prove her pond existed underground. Over hours, drilling samples revealed nothing but solid granite and clay. No water, no pond, no violations. Mrs. Patterson courageously revealed Karen had tried to buy her property at a fraction of its value, threatening legal battles if she refused. Dave Murphy showed the incriminating emails, and a local journalist brought evidence tying Karen and her husband to a wide-scale property manipulation scheme. That Karen's world collapsed in front of everyone. She screamed about lies, called 911 again, this time asking to arrest me for laughing. The room burst out laughing, and even her allies looked embarrassed. 3 months later, the neighborhood was transformed. Karen was arrested and sentenced to prison for fraud and abuse of office. Her husband faced federal charges. The HOA was restructured with new leadership focused on fairness and transparency. Mrs. Patterson took the helm, introducing reforms to protect residents from future abuse. As for me, I donated my property, the very land Karen tried to steal, to become a community park honoring my grandfather's legacy and Mrs. Patterson's courage. The oak tree that sparked this crazy saga stands tall, a symbol of resilience and justice. Here's the takeaway: sometimes, the biggest threats come disguised as community caretakers. But truth, laughter, and standing together can dismantle even the most ruthless schemes. Have you ever felt powerless against someone abusing authority? Or witnessed a bully weaponize rules to control and intimidate? Share your thoughts below. Where do we draw the line between community standards and abuse of power? Justice isn't always loud, but it's always worth fighting for. If this story gave you hope, hit like and subscribe for more real-life victories against everyday tyrants. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes laughter really is the best defense.